Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in this video, we are going to learn how to add Zoom meeting registrant on Google Form submission. So let's suppose I'm running a marketing agency and I'm collecting all my potential leads with the help of Google Forms. I want whenever a potential lead fills the form to attend my webinar, it should be automatically added as a registrant in my Zoom account. I completely want to automate this process, and to do this automation, I am going to use Pabbly Connect. So Pabbly Connect is an amazing automation and integration software which requires no coding or programming skills. Here I just need to build connection between Google Forms and Zoom. Pabbly Connect runs on two principles, which is trigger and action. Here, as my trigger application, I am going to take Google Forms from where I will receive new form submission, and this complete workflow here will get triggered. And then in my action application, I am going to take Zoom, where the registrant will be added automatically as soon as the new form submission will be received. If you want to learn this amazing automation step by step, then let me take you all to my screen. In this video, we are going to learn how to add Zoom meeting registrant on Google Form submission. For this, we are going to create automation between Google Forms and Zoom with the help of Pabbly Connect. So this is the landing page of Pabbly, and you can visit this simply by typing pabbly.com/connect in your browser. Now after browsing the website, we need to sign into a Pabbly account. On the top right corner, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you are an existing user, click on this sign in. But if you are a new user, click on the sign up for free, and this will give you 100 tasks free on monthly basis. As I am an existing user, I'll click on the sign in. And here a dashboard has appeared showing me all the Pabbly applications. Here I have to click on this Pabbly Connect Access Now. And it has taken me to this dashboard where I will be able to find all my workflows over here and all the folders that I have created over here. If you want to create a new folder, you just need to click on this plus icon, and from here you can create a new folder. For now, I want to create a new workflow, for which I need to click on this create workflow, and first I need to provide the workflow name and then select the folder in which I want to save this workflow. So first, let's name this workflow as how to add Zoom meeting registrant on Google Forms submission. Now I need to select my folder. So these are the folders that have been created, and I want to select this forms automation and then click on create. Now as soon as I click on create, two boxes have appeared in front of me. One is trigger, other is action. So trigger says when this happens and action says do this. So trigger is basically an event which starts the automation of a workflow. There can be only one trigger in a workflow, but as many as action applications as you want. Here in this workflow, I want to add Zoom meeting registrant on Google Form submission, which means whenever a Google Form submission will be made, a Zoom meeting registrant will be automatically added, which means whenever I will receive Google Form submission, this complete workflow here will get triggered because trigger says when this happens. So whenever Google Form submission happens and I receive a new form submission, an action says do this. So add that as a registrant in my Zoom meeting. So here in my trigger application, I am going to take Google Forms. And then in my trigger event, I am going to take this new response received. Now I need to make connection between Pabbly Connect and Google Forms, for which a webhook URL is provided to me. And this URL is going to act as a bridge to connect my Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. So reading this help desk given below over here, I will make this connection, and to make this connection, let me take you to my Google Forms. So I have created this Google form by the name webinar registration form, and it has all these fields: first name, last name, email, phone, company name, and how did you hear about this webinar. So now to start this process of making the connection, I have to make sure that I first turn on this required button of my last field of this form. So this is the last field, and I've turned this required button on, and then I have to go to this responses, and then I have to click on this view in sheets. So this sheet will appear in front of me, and as you can see, this is the same name as that I have given to my form, webinar registration form, and the name of my sheet is also same. And over here you can see all the fields that I have in my Google form: first name, last name, email, phone, company name, And how did you hear about this webinar? Except this field which is timestamp, so it will record the date and timing of form submission. So this shows that the Google Forms and this Google Sheets are connected, and whenever I will receive the response in my Google Forms, it will be also added in this Google Sheets. So now to make this connection, I have to open this spreadsheet and then I have to click on this extensions and then I have to go on this add-ons and then click on this get add-ons. So here Google Workspace Marketplace will appear in front of me where I need to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. And it is showing installed because I have already installed this in my Google Sheets, but if you are doing this for the first time, you have to follow the same process and then make sure that you refresh your Google Sheets after installing from over here. So now after installing this Pabbly Connect webhooks, I have to go to extensions again, and then over here I will be able to find this Pabbly Connect webhooks. So now I have to click on this initial setup. And then this box will appear in front of me where I need to enter the webhook URL and then I have to enter the trigger column. So as to enter this webhook URL, let me take you to my Pabbly Connect workflow. So this is the same webhook URL that I need to enter over here in this field. So I'll go back to Pabbly Connect, copy this webhook URL and then I'm going to paste that over here. Now I need to enter the trigger column and it's written. The trigger column will be a final data entry column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row data will be sent to the webhook URL. So over here my final data entry column or the last column or the trigger column is column G, and as soon as I add data in this column, the complete row data will be sent to Pabbly Connect. So over here I am going to write G and then I am going to click on this submit. Setup configured successfully. Now I need to go to extensions, then I need to click on this Pabbly Connect webhooks and then I am going to click on the send on event. So this step will make sure whatever data we add in future, it is sent to Pabbly Connect. Now let's go back to Pabbly Connect and over here we can see waiting for the webhook response. Under this it is written, now log into the application where you have added the webhook URL and do test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. This means so as to get the webhook response over here, we need to do a test submission for which we need to open our Google form, and for that I need to click on this send, and over here I am provided with the link to this form. So I am going to copy this and then I am going to paste that in a new tab. So this form has appeared in front of me by the name webinar registration form, and I am going to fill dummy details in all these fields, and when I submit this, Pabbly Connect should capture this response over here. So this will show us that the connection that we have created with the help of this webhook URL between Google Form and Pabbly Connect is successful. So now I am going to fill the form. So let's say my first name is. So here I have entered my first name as new, last name as user, email address as new 875@pablitudes.com, my phone number as this, my company name as Magnet Brains, and then how did I hear about this webinar? From social media. Now I am going to click on this submit and I have successfully submitted this form, and this detail should be received in my Pabbly Connect and also in my Google Sheets. So let's open my Google Sheets first. And here I can see I have successfully added all the details. The first name was you, last name was user, email address was new875@pablitudes.com, then this was the phone number, company name was Magnet Brains, and then I entered social media in this field. Now I need to open my Pabbly Connect, and over here I can see I have received the response. Here I have received all the same details that I have entered while filling the form. So this means the connection that we have created with the help of this webhook URL between Pabbly Connect and Google Forms is successful. And now whenever someone will fill this form, I will start receiving the response in my Pabbly Connect. So now whenever I receive Google Form submission, I want to add this as registrant in my Zoom meeting. So here I am going to move to the next step where I am going to take my action application as Zoom. And then in my action event, I am going to take this add meeting registrant. Now I have to click on this connect. So if you have an existing connection, you can go with save. If you don't have one, click on this add new connection and then click on this connect with Zoom. So over here is authorization successful, as I've already logged in my Zoom account. The authorization was easy, and it is always advisable to keep your applications logged in before making the connection in Pabbly Connect. So now Zoom is connected with Pabbly Connect and I have to enter all these details. So the first one is I have to enter the meeting in which I want to add this registrant. So to enter this, let me take you to my Zoom account. So this is my Zoom account, and on the left hand side I can see all these options. Here I have to click on this meetings, and then I have created this meeting by the name marketing. So let's open this, and I want to add all my registrant in this particular meeting. So I'll go back to Pabbly Connect, and from this drop down select my meeting as marketing. And then I have to enter the email address, first name, last name and all the other fields. So I'm not going to enter this manually. Instead, I'm going to use a method called mapping, which means I'm going to enter data from my previous response. Here I have received the response from Google Forms, and when I click on this email address field, I will be able to find this Google Forms. And when I click on this, I can see all the response that I have received from there. So now I need to enter the email address, and the email address was new875@pabblytudes.com. Now I need to enter the first name. So the first name was new. And then I need to enter the last name. So the last name was user. As I have not received any response for any of these fields, for now I'm going to skip this. But if you have received the response, you can enter following the same process. Now I need to enter the phone number. So I have received the response for the phone number, and this was my phone number. And I'm going to enter the organization as this one, and then I am going to select the purchasing time frame as no time frame, and from the role I want to select this as not involved, and then number of employees I want to select this as 1 to 20. Now over here mapping is important, so that every time you receive a new response, it is taken into consideration in these fields. Manually entering the data will make these fields static, and the information will not change even if you have received the new response. Over here, if I manually enter any data, this field will become static, and every time I receive a new response, the result will not change. So as to keep these fields dynamic, we use this process mapping instead of manually entering the details. So after entering all these details, I have to click on the save and send test request, and here I have received a positive response. Now I need to open my Zoom and check whether this new user has been created as a registrant there or not. So this is my meeting, and I'll click on this registration, and then I'm going to click on this view. So this was my registrant by the name new user. The email address was new875@pabblytudes.com. First name was new, last name was user. So now to check whether this automation is working perfectly fine or not, let's open my Google Forms again and fill some other form with some other details. So let's say this time my name is. So here I have added my first name as latest, last name as user, email address as latest888@pabblytudes.com. Then I have added my phone number, the company name as Pabbly, and then this as email. Now I am going to click on this submit, and as soon as I have submitted my form, this detail should be captured in my Pabbly Connect. A registrant should be created in my Zoom, and this detail should also be added in my Google Sheet. So as we can see, we have successfully added this in our spreadsheet. Now we need to open our Zoom, and from over here let's refresh this page once. And then I'm going to click on this registration, and then I'm going to click on this view, and here I can see I have successfully added this latest user as registrant also. Here the email address is latest888@pabblytudes.com. The first name, the last name is also same. So now to summarize, we took Google Forms as our trigger application where we made connection with Pabbly Connect with the help of this webhook URL. We submitted a form and received a response over here, after which we moved to the next step where we took Zoom as our action application where we wanted to create registrant. We entered the meeting in which we want to create the registrant, entered all these details with the help of mapping. Simply clicked on the save and send test request and received the response as this registrant being added in my Zoom. So we have successfully created automation between Google Forms and Zoom with the help of Pabbly Connect. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching.
Not only these applications, but you can integrate many more applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. Now if you have any doubt, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any query, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com, and if you have any pricing related issue, you can visit the website given over here. Also, if you find our videos helpful, do share it with your friends and like and subscribe to our channel.